loser Kari Lake recently admitted that she had indeed lied about a Maricopa County official that happens to be suing her for defamation. So Maricopa County Recorder Stephen Richer is suing Lake for statements that she had made about him during her efforts to try to convince people that she was the true winner of the 2022 governor's race. Kari Lake, see, I actually won. I didn't lose. No, it was all them. Now, in reality, of course, she did not win. She lied and filed lawsuit after failed lawsuit over and over again, getting her, allegations debunked, knocked down, swatted down. It's over. And so, look, why then would she admit to then lying about this particular Maricopa County official? Well, apparently, in her motion to dismiss his defamation suit, she claims, hey, look, man, I got the First Amendment, protections, so I can lie about anybody. Oh, okay, well, let's get to more details first. According to the Arizona Mirror, Lake claims that it doesn't matter that she had lied about this person because, hey, free speech. In a court filing, Lake's lawyer said that Richard's suit should be dismissed because he works for the state, and he only brought the suit to deter, retaliate against, and prevent defendants' lawful exercise of their free speech rights on the core public issue of election integrity. So, now, look, does Richard work for the state? Yes, but was he, clearly, singled out, pointed out, defamed? I believe so. But here's what Lake said in the filing. An anti-SLAPP motion is not an attempt to adjudicate falsity, but to avoid the burden of having to justify statements concerning core political speech. But hold on here. Now, he didn't file the suit on behalf of the state, on behalf of Maricopa County. He filed it on behalf of himself as a private individual, because he was pointed out as a private individual, as someone who, according to Lake, had done some very nefarious deeds in trying to steal the election from her. What a bad person. Now, Richer was actually one of the lawmakers who was frequently targeted by Lake in the aftermath of her loss. She said that Richer had intentionally printed 19-inch images on 20-inch ballots to sabotage the 2022 general election, resulting in 300,000 illegal, invalid, phony, or bogus early ballots being counted in Maricopa County. Oh, you said, see, he printed the image too small, somehow fraud. Wait, now here's the thing. So she made these statements, she made them publicly, she made them on social media. Okay, and she also, by the way, put it in her, one of her election lawsuits. So she literally did bring this allegation to court with no evidence to back it up. So now she says in her suit, the claims about Richer, it's not actually about Richer, it's just about his job, right? So because it's about his job and his job performance, which was to nefariously steal the election on purpose from me, that it's totally fine that I say these things about him, even though I actually just admit that I lied, because I have the First Amendment freedom to lie. Wait, okay, so these allegations seem to be all over the place, but hinge on, it's, hey, I can lie if I want to, okay? And that lie just, it was just gonna help me. Now, that said, both the Maricopa County Superior Court and the Arizona Court of Appeals and the Arizona Supreme Court ruled that there was no evidence, so again, that's why it is a lie. Now, when she was told that, and this is, I think, pretty important, she continued to use those false claims against Richer. And now, again, here's the thing. When you get into public figures, it feels like there's a little bit more leeway in the First Amendment when it comes to criticizing them and even saying false things. Again, the majority of the right wing, what they do is some of the most malicious false things about politicians and pundits on the other side. You see it all the time. So that said, according to a Phoenix lawyer, Lake might be stretching the purpose of the spirit of the law in her motion to dismiss this case. In fact, lawyer Craig Morgan said, quote, "I think it's a stretch to say that a public officer standing up for his or her reputation, which is what Richer is doing in this defamation suit, is doing so to stop someone from engaging in political speech." Well, again, that's what she is doing is not political speech. She's just repeating falsehoods and then targeting individual people and saying, look at all these horrible things this person did, even though there's absolutely no evidence of it. And it's been proven again that there is no evidence of these things. So this is a difference here between, again, free speech and saying, well, I think this person did something bad and I don't like it. Okay, well, sure. There's a difference between doing that and then what she appears to be doing or has been doing and saying, I know for a fact that this guy did this. These are the very specific allegations, but they're not proven. They've been investigated. They're unproven. And so you can't continue to put those in actual legal filings because it's defamation. It's defaming this person. It is actually also putting them in danger because that's what's happening with these, with these claims. They'll go through, post these things on social media. And of course, what happens? Election workers across the country get threatened because they think, well, these election workers, they're stealing it. They're stealing the election. They're stealing our votes. Kari Lake said so. So it must be, no, I got to do something. I'm going to threaten this person. I'm going to, I'm going to send in very specific threats. I'm going to put up their personal information, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so, yeah, it can be pretty dangerous, especially when they know and admit that what they're saying is not true about these people. So, look, that said, right, I don't think this is about free speech. Defamation, we know, is not free speech. But at the same time, when it comes to the courts, when it comes to the legal definition, there is a pretty high bar in order to prove it. You got to prove that they knew it was false, and I think that's fairly easy. She just admitted that a lot of these things were not true, but that they were specifically doing it to harm that individual. And I think that second part is where the case might be a little bit more difficult. So what do I think? What do I mean by that, I should say? Well, I don't think her goal was to harm Mr. Richer specifically. No, Kari Lake's goal is to blame anyone and anything else for her loss except for herself. That's really it. So what Richer is in this is collateral damage. Convenient scapegoat, right? Somebody that she can point it to, among many other people that she is in her campaign has pointed to as, to blame for her loss, and say it was them. It was all them. It was them. It was the rhinos. It was the deep state. It's this specific person doing this specific thing. Well, again, that's still going to get you in trouble. And so, look, it will be interesting to see whether or not a court deems that to be the level of defamation. Again, we're going to have to see. But as far as harm goes, yeah, it is harm. And I had already talked about some of the potential harms. Now, here's what Richer said in his own words in a recent op-ed. He said that Lake has cast doubt on my loyalty to our country, our state, and my office. She did this knowing that it would only throw gasoline on the fire of falsehoods about our elections. Lake has not sent me into hiding, nor will she ever, but her defamatory statements have irrevocably altered my life, closed opportunities, and damaged relationships. Now, he also made sure to add and push back on the idea that this is about trying to silence her, trying to censor her, take away her free speech. He said that it's instead about the instances where Lake and her campaign entities chose to violate defamation law by repeatedly making specific untruthful comments alleging that I had committed heinous crimes.